Okay, Director Wallace.
Just welcome. Thank you for being here.
Director Leonard.
This last Tuesday, I went with the general manager for a briefing on SWAP, SWAP. It's the statewide action plan that has been proposed by both Senate and the Congress, and the governor is supportive of it. And Aqua has given us a briefing on it, and they're in favor of most of it also. And they've asked us to consider it, and maybe later Steve will maybe at the next meeting give you a little bit more explanation of it, but they've asked us to send a resolution of support as a member of Aqua to this statewide action plan. It's trying to resolve all of the water problems in California through the Delta and Colorado and everywhere. But Steve will probably give you a little bit more details on that.
Welcome everybody. Thank you for being here this evening. I attended the school board meeting, and there was a discussion there that kind of bothered me a little bit, and doesn't affect this agency, but it does affect this community, I believe. And there was a presentation on the behalf of a charter school, and the way it was presented, it made it sound like essentially just kind of being as short as I can is like, you guys aren't doing the job, so we're going to come in there and do the job for your students that are at risk. And I personally believe that we have a good school district here, and this board supports the school district and its board of trustees, and I just felt that you know, there's some way that we as an agency can lend our support, that a vote of confidence that, you know, you guys are doing a great job for the community, and you are doing a great job for our children, and that you know, and don't need a charter school to come into our community. We have fine teachers, we have fine administrators, we have a good curriculum that can handle the kids, and whether it be independent studies or homeschooling or whatever, I think our school district has everything covered. So that was just my little soapbox thing that I wanted to talk on there, and thank you for all coming.
I see where they got enough signatures for that bathroom thing.
Over 600,000.
600,000.
They only needed 500,000.
Oh, really? I'm in line for that.
Okay, presentations. Are there any presentations this evening? Okay, Parks and Rec Committee,
Didn't meet.
Water Conservation Committee,
Didn't meet.
Government Public Affairs Committee,
Nope.
Personnel Committee,
No.
Policy Committee, no meeting, Engineering Committee.
Actually, Mr. President, we did meet, that was 2 weeks ago, but
You're right.
we did meet, and there was nothing to report back, but we did have a meeting, we discussed some general things from the district, but nothing to report on.
It'll come out later on in the year, but in the current budget, there was no, a lot of times you put an area of expected growth, income from connections and so on. Nothing was put in the budget for any new connections, and we will clearly have a significant number of new connections this year, which means money coming in to the budget that wasn't in the budget to begin with.
Yeah. One of the things that is good about that is if you put it into the budget as a line item and you calculate it within there, and it doesn't happen, then you're left at the end of the year explaining why you might be in a deficit or close to have spent out.
And we've done that before.
Right.
We've done that.
And in this way, it can be brought into the revenue stream of the agency by labeling it unanticipated revenue, and it makes your bottom line. Although we didn't bring it in, we did discuss it.
Yeah.
One thing that Steve was gonna check with Kern County to see if there was going to be a relaxing of their rules that we could, issue conditional will serve letters versus the unconditional will serve letters.
And that, bringing that up is gonna be a timing issue with the planning department.
Right. We're gonna have to have many more discussions, but it's the direction we're heading in to plan for the future growth, that's going to take place here.
It started already, that track across the street.
Oh, yeah.
They're building, and I want to give you a compliment in open session, Steve. When we were doing the budget, I asked you about some of those numbers, and you're the one that said, let's go put it there until it gets there. So my compliments to you for being heads up, because it's coming, but when I asked you about it, you said, let's just wait to ensure that it gets there. So that was heads up on your part there, taking care of us.
And this track here had an unconditional will serve letter.
For 72,
Yeah,
but
for
they're proposed to build 100, so they'll, 102, so they're gonna have to pay some fines if they, not fines, but connection fees.
Part of that is the first, was it 72? First 72 were paid for under the old rate, which is a very low rate, so that revenue is already within the district. The balance of those 102 will be at the new rate.
This is Samantha Ness from the Rosamond News here with Ryan Butoli. Can you explain what just happened here?
What just happened here today, ma'am, was a ceremony to truly show our respect to all of our men and women who have served and who are currently serving in the United States Army, Air Force, Marines, and Navy. All of the veterans and their families on November 11th usually gather in a place, and we'll usually have a nice ceremony to remember those who are no longer here with us, and to remember those who are here with us, and just to understand truly what it means to serve and what it means to have served.
This is Wednesday, 13th of November. We're here in Bakersfield at the 7th Annual Kern County Energy Summit.
One other comment here, just to make sure I know where we're at. We're in Bakersfield, oil capital. I have a picture of a Nissan Leaf in my office. I hope nobody's taping this. But I drive a 3/4-ton Dodge pickup truck. I found that it's hard to haul horses with a Nissan Leaf. So with that, we'll just dive into this. I really had no idea what I was supposed to talk about when we got started. So I thought maybe the thing that we do is try to bring this a little bit more local. We're a new member to the community. The MidAmerican Energy family of companies feels very fortunate to be able to be here in Kern County. So we'll give you a little bit of an introduction to the Energy Holdings Company and some of our subsidiaries, and we'll talk a little bit about 2 or 3 of the plants that we've got very briefly, focus on Solar Star, and then talk a little bit about what we're trying to do to earn your trust in the community here in the county as a good neighbor and community member. So if you kind of start from the top, MidAmerican Energy, I wish I had a pointer because these are a little difficult. But MidAmerican Energy Holdings Company is a holdings company. It's headquartered in Des Moines, Iowa. It's owned about 90% by Berkshire Hathaway and Mr. Buffett. Thank you. That was good. Owned about 90% by Berkshire Hathaway and Mr. Buffett. Mr. Walter Scott, who was the Chairman Emeritus of Peter Kiewit & Sons Construction. I'm sure many of you in the energy industry know Kiewit & Sons, or Kiewit Energy Group, but he is the second owner. And then Greg Abel, who is our Chief Executive Officer and Chairman, also owns a portion of the company. As a company, we have across both regulated and non-regulated platforms, we have about 24,000 megawatts of electricity generation. And I would note that today we have about 32% of that capacity is either with renewable or non-carbon emitting resources. So we're well ahead of the curve, one of the top couple companies in the energy industry in terms of especially wind and renewables.